Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Animac here from Anime Uproar, and welcome to a brand new episode of the One Piece Virgin podcast. In this episode, we are starting a new arc, the Enies Lobby arc, or Enies Lobby arc, however you want to pronounce it. I don't know. Whatever. It's not anus.
The Enies Lobby arc!
I've heard that it's not anus, but it is about a big hole.
Now!
There's a big hole in like the ground. But anyway, Enies Lobby, Part 1, Chapters 375 to 398. Joining me today, along with Nux and Briggs.
Nux and Briggs!
Eden, say it.
Hello! What? My audio cut out
have,
there.
yes.
You're supposed to say Nux and Briggs.
Jack and Core! Woo!
Jack and anyway, it's actually Korewa Eden here with us. He is the fake Core, and is also a YouTuber and stuff.
He's cool.
And
He's
stuff.
cool. We like him. I mean, we don't always like him, to be honest. Sometimes we kind of wish he didn't tweet the cringy stuff he does, but we like him. We like him.
Yeah.
Today,
Jack and Core.
like I said, we're talking about 375 to 398. Briggs,
Yes, and
then what
next
is it
week-
next week?
I love how you always ask Briggs, but I'm the one that knows. This is so sad.
I
It's
get all the
399 to 430. So there's 31 chapters.
399 to 430. Okay, so the thing we've had is some people have asked us to say somewhere earlier before the podcasts come out what the next week's chapters will be, because some people watch on YouTube, and by the time the YouTube episode comes out, they say it's not enough time for them. So if you want to follow me on Twitter at Anime Uproar, I will be tweeting out the following week's chapters.
I mean, that's
you.
a good plug, but logically, it doesn't really track, man. Not gonna lie.
At
Because
Anime Uproar, I will post them every week.
I'll explain why, Animac. I'll explain the hypocrisy real quick. Just for the
Go
people that they want to know. So basically, if someone's watching the YouTube videos, then they have a full week between the YouTube videos.
It's only if they go from the YouTube to the
to
Twitch.
the Twitch.
Yeah, so that's
Which
what some
doesn't
people were
make
saying,
any
I guess.
sense. That's one. And two, we literally write it in the description.
It's true. Unless I'm really
Yeah, but we
lazy,
don't-
because then sometimes I'll just be like, yeah, second half of Enies Lobby.
Nice.
Yeah, so
But
we
with
don't
all
always
that
write
said
in
and
the
done,
description.
I think the moral of the story is
Stop talking for like 4 seconds, bro.
to go
We
to
don't-
nordvpn.com/animeuproar.
We do not post in the descriptions the following week's chapters often.
Yes, we do.
And people have asked about it, and I'm just saying, like, if you want to be a dick about it, fine. But
I do, but also I'm right. Anyway,
Okay, no one
definitely
cares,
follow
man.
Animac on Twitter.
like, you go into this whole thing for no reason. Ridiculous.
Yes, I do.
Anyways, despite Nux trying his best to ruin this episode, guys, this was a
No, I was
really,
actually
really.
enhancing the experience. but
No, you're
continue.
not. For no one. For absolutely no one. This has been an amazing arc so far. So many things have happened. There's a ton of stuff to talk about. And if Nux allows us to talk, it will be a great episode.
No.
All right, so I'm allowing you to talk. Take the floor, Animac. Show us what you got.
Oh, no, I don't know what to say because I wasn't expecting you to allow us to talk. Damn.
All right, there we go. So I guess I have to do more talking after all. The arc starts off with straight fire as Frankie bites that bastard's face. Yes, that's right. One of the greatest scenes in manga history, when Frankie's pissed off at douchey guy with the metal jaw thing, and he just bites him on the head. One of the
Well, that's
greatest.
not really the start of this arc, but sure, I'll allow it. They are kind of still on the train. Robin and Frankie are having a conversation. They arrive at Enies Lobby. We get a little bit of a breakdown of what Enies Lobby looks like, this grand base. And then, then we see Lucy and the boys. Base. Slap like slappers.
OMG.
OMG.
Yeah, no, I thought that the geography of Enies Lobby plays a big role. Like, first of all, of course, how they fight. But that shit is intimidating, bro. Oh my god, when I saw that, I was like, oh, this is a real military base. Oh my.
They can't even open it up. They have to creak it open just a little bit. Like,
Yes,
why even have
I'm
a
like,
gate that big?
wow. Whew. That base.
So that is very important. And the whole thing that I thought was really interesting was how multifaceted the massive group battle was. It was just crazy. So once they infiltrate Enies Lobby, the whole base, there's so many things going on. Kind of
Adamak has He has no patience for Nux today. This is gonna be a rough episode, boys.
Yeah, dude, man.
Animex,
Please, dude.
Animex, he's bugging out because I already spoke to him for like an hour earlier today. I think he's overdosing on Nux.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
hit his
I
Nux
also, like,
quota.
Nux, you also have to understand, man, that the audio is all over the place, so I don't always hear what's going on, and you're
All right, I'll
interrupting.
make sure to say it extremely loud and multiple times to ensure that you appreciate what I have to say.
Enies Lobby.
Anyway,
Enies Lobby.
so I really like the arc, and I thought that it reminded me a bit of the whole Alabasta final battle, because you even needed like a map of everything and locations of where everyone's at, because so much stuff was going on at the same time. And so the action part was really cool. And then we also got Robin's backstory, which was insane, super emotional. And then,
And it was being hyped up for a very, very long time.
well,
first of
on
all.
this podcast, it definitely was for me.
No, I mean, like, over the course of the manga, they were bringing it up like this is a demon girl. Don't trust her. You don't know her story. For probably probably since we met her, right?
Yeah,
So
since
we were
the
waiting a
end of-
long time for this.
And
Yeah, even Crocodile was like, "This whammon right here, don't mess with this whammon." And then she like mysteriously joined the crew, and
Mhm.
she could
Oh,
somehow
yeah.
read these poneglyphs. And then an admiral that can beat the entire Straw Hat crew by just breathing on them. He's like, "Don't trust this whammon."
Exactly.
it's important to note the build up to this arc, because if we remember that Robin, every other crew that she's been with, she uses them to
She's
get
the
away
only
and
one.
kind of uses them as sacrifices. And then we get the scene in Alabasta where Luffy saves Robin kind of against her will, or like she didn't ask for it, and that's how she joins the crew. She says, "You saved me when I wanted to die, so now you're responsible. Let me join the crew." And she actually, like, slowly, she's still cold to them in the beginning, kind of like, I didn't know if I can trust this woman, but then as like the arcs went by and they went on adventures, it got to the point where this time around she was willing to sacrifice herself for the crew. And at the end of Water 7, she let the CP9 take her away in order to make a deal with the world government and save the Straw Hats and let them kind of flee Water 7 like safely.
And so another big aspect, one of the most interesting things for me in One Piece has been that whole secret world history stuff and the mystery of the poneglyphs, or as we call them here, the Polnareffs. And
Fact.
we got a lot more information on that in this arc with Robin's backstory, which was awesome. And yes, some people were asking me whether I enjoyed the fact that we had a new MILF introduced. And yes, I did. I did enjoy it very much. But we'll talk about all that when we get to that
Got
point.
it going on. Okay, never mind.
The one thing is, even at the very beginning of this arc, we had Frankie say to Robin, "Existing is not a crime." And I thought that was a cool moment. And it also plays so much into what happens later on and what we learn. So yeah, Frankie was also very cool and instrumental in this arc.
Frankie's a mad lad. I mean, he's one of the key players here, it seems.
He's super. He's super.
He's super.
Yeah, so I don't remember now if it happened in the manga too, but I do. You guys made me watch the scene of the Robin scene at the end, and he's like, when he sees the crew bonding, Frankie's like, "These guys are so awesome."
Yeah.
So
He
I
even
thought that
did
was
that with
pretty.
Usopp in Water 7 as well, right? Like whenever
Yeah,
there was like this like strong bond between people, and it was like or sad moments, he would just break down. I love it.
No, it's because
Yeah.
like he's like kind of this mafia-ish family. It's like it's the Frankie Don, like everything's with a Don, you know, like he's kind of mafia-ish, which is always family oriented. It's the Frankie house with the Frankie family. So he's here, he's seeing this really familial crew, and he's just like crying his eyes out. He's going nuts. It's a really great characterization of Frankie, who, as everyone knows, and it's not a spoiler, does show up in future arcs. Yes, it does happen. But I wanted
I mean,
to say,
I do know
I
that
wonder
because
why.
he shows up on volumes. So I
There
have
we
all,
go.
like the physical volumes, right? And I've seen like the sides and stuff of the volumes. So I do see some characters that will appear next. It's not a spoiler.
yeah, it's not that he joins the Straw Hats or anything. It's just we start following the
course not.
Frankie house from here on out. We don't follow Luffy anymore. His adventure ends. We just follow Frankie. But something I wanted to say is the humor.
Oh, that's all the time we have, Nux. That's all the time we. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Back to the beginning.
Oh, that was funny. That
Okay, go
was
ahead.
hilarious. I was dying. So
Thank you.
one of the funniest things that we see in One Piece is fighting against like fodder type people. Like the major fights are important, but I think the secondary fights are just so amazing. Like how Zoro and Sanji are fighting together. They bust down the doors or whatever. They're in there, they're wrecking guys, and he's like, "Oh, should we like greet them and stuff?" And the people are just freaking out. It's like, "Oh my god, I heard of that swordsman. He's Luffy's underling. He's the pirate hunter Zoro." And then Sanji's like, "Ha, they called you an underling." And then Zoro's like firing back, "Yeah, well, they didn't even recognize you."
Yeah.
And like,
you know what he said? Oh, go ahead. Sorry, were you finishing?
And as they're, and it's like, "You're just nameless Pirate A."
Yes.
And as they're like fighting with each other, they're nonchalantly taking down these swaths of Marines. Like, that's One Piece humor at its finest, and I love seeing it every single time.
Bro, they took down
I wanted to bring up that moment
in this arc. Go ahead, Animax, sorry.
I wanted to bring up that moment as well, that humor moment where Sanji and Zoro are like going at each other about, "Ha, you're an underling," and he's like, or a stooge or whatever. He's like, "They don't even know your name, bro. You're just like Pirate A or Pirate B." That was hilarious. And also just the way that they infiltrated Enies Lobby. They were like, "Okay, so we have this plan, right? So we're going to do this, and we're going to use the train, and we're going to ram the door." And Luffy's like, "Okay, that sounds cool, guys." And he just leaves. And he just...
he said that he understood.
What is he doing? What is he doing?
Dude.
And at this point,
Zoro gets lost.
I was like, that's
he
Luffy.
gets lost also. And he's like, "Well, I just need to go up." And he just goes up. Oh, man. Dude, it's great. Oh, man. I love the humorous moments. I mean, we also got some pretty epic rope guy. Like, he was pretty cool.
Paulie, I love Paulie. Such a Chad.
Paulie?
Wow.
Bro, I can't believe he fired
Paulie.
the CP9 guys.
That was a
like,
good moment.
That was a
they
pretty
betrayed
badass
everyone.
team.
They betrayed everyone. They were going to kill the boss. But they were good shipwrights / secretary.
Facts. And it was just funny how he's like,
sexual harassment.
There we go, man. How could you?
Also, that's a line in One Piece.
No, I know.
I need to clarify for the people that think that I'm not I'm a social justice warrior or something.
And I thought
also, there are other funny moments, like Soga King, his mask falls off, and he like quickly, like with one hand, he covers his face, and Chopper's like, "Soga King, your mask!"
Yeah, they're all playing along. I like that.
They're not playing along. Most of them straight up have no idea that he's Usopp, if he is.
No,
I don't know.
Probably like only
Chopper had no clue.
Only Chopper and Luffy, but yeah.
I think Zoro and Sanji also
even
didn't.
better with Soga Kingu. I don't know if this is anime only or maybe the effect only comes across anime only. Why the heck did Evan just join this call for 5 seconds? What the? Anyways, him constantly humming his own theme song was absolutely wonderful. I loved that.
Oh man.
Yeah, that doesn't come across in the manga, but I did watch his theme song in the anime. Because people told me to check it out, and it is pretty glorious. It's like one of those 1970s overly dramatic anime openings. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's great. I love Soga King so much because Sniper Island, bro, it's in your heart.
It's in my heart. Oh,
just an island, bro.
The phrase is just an island. It's such a weak mindset, Animac.
There we go.
God damn it.
I will say though that I thought that Khalifa was pretty hilarious because not only did she do the whole sexual harassment stuff when she was a secretary, even like outside of that persona, when she comes back to headquarters and it's like, "Oh, Khalifa, how's it going?" And she's like, "You said my name. That's sexual harassment." He's like, "What? What?"
He said literally everyone's name, and then like her addition to it was just sexual harassment. Like, why?
Yeah.
And he's like, "What?
Speaking of Soga King, we get the moment of him with the giants.
Yes! Of course, I was going to bring that up.
Great.
Throw back to Little
Animac,
Garden.
Take it away. Animac.
Yeah, so this is all part of that initial infiltration. And there was a lot of really cool parts there. I think we have to give it up to Sodomu and Gomorrah. They were MVPs in this battle, too. Those two, like, giant seahorse things. Real sacrifice, all for Frankie. He saved them, apparently, out of the belly of a Neptunian, and they love them, their family. But yeah, the giants, I love that, because the giants were told that their chiefs were imprisoned at Impel Down, I guess, and if the giants served them for 100 years, then they would release the chiefs. Meanwhile, those chiefs are the same two giants that we saw in the previous arc. Not Jaya, what was it?
The Little Garden.
Little Garden arc, yes. So our boy Soga King, I guess, Usopp told him that Usopp had seen these giants on the island. So Sogeking is like, guys, I've seen the giants. They're on the island. They're not captured. These dudes lied to you. And the giants are like, what? Screw this. Let's join the pirates and fucking get our revenge. I thought that was pretty hilarious touch, honestly.
And it's funny how Sogeking the whole time, he's mumbling to himself, well, I could actually get away right now and no one would notice. And then something happens like that makes him be forced to stay. Like every 2 minutes. Oh my god, I love Sogeking. Man, does he shine. He shines bright.
Like a
Yeah,
diamond.
and I mean, they definitely needed help. Like, there's a lot of these crazy Marines and different types of forces. So the fact that they got the giants to join them was actually a big flex. But it made sense story-wise too in a funny way, so I thought it was really, really good.
Yeah, and that's
thank
also
you, Shiganif, for 5,000 bits. Recovering from
thanks a lot.
gallbladder surgery. Best of luck to you, my dude. Or dudette.
Thank you.
that's also important in knowing how the world government governs, realizing that they're like chaotic lawful. You know what I mean? That they don't really have any
They're just
morals,
like, they're
pure law, and it doesn't
Yeah.
matter which way they go around doing it.
authoritarianism incarnate.
Yeah, and a lot of stuff comes out about the world government that is really messed up as this arc continues. So we'll definitely talk about that. I did want to say, though, on chapter 385 cover story, we got our boy Bon Clay looking absolutely badass as he smacks Mr. 3.
Nice.
Yeah.
Absolute Chad.
Man, I wish he would show up again in the story.
Spoilers.
Bon Clay
Bon
also...
Clay.
He also
In Wano.
has like a battle eventually in the cover stories with Hina, the sexiest Marine. Is her name Hina?
Not sure.
Sure.
See, if Tekking was here, he would be like, you plebs.
Without a doubt, he would know.
Tekking would say, "You don't know Hina? She's 5'3". She's 26 years old.
Yeah, Hina. Yeah.
Her
Yeah.
zodiac sign is Pisces. You know.
So it was like a battle of the glorious ballerinas.
Oh.
Fun fact: in order to learn Bon Clay's fighting style, you need at least a 10th degree black belt in karate and an 8th degree black belt in ballet.
Is that like an Oda corner?
I'm added to it, but something along those lines.
Okay.
He said that you need both karate and ballet in order to be able to fight like Bon Clay.
So I know who Hina is now because someone said, "Oh, I'd let her bind me in her bars any day," and now I know who you're talking about. I agree.
Yeah, it's the long-haired Marine chick. She has pink hair in the anime.
Yeah.
It's just white in the manga. Unfortunately.
Because you're not reading the colored version. Anyway,
So let's talk about now, again, before we get into Robin's backstory, let's talk about Luffy's power-up. Because
There we
Luffy
go.
gets a major power-up.
Oh,
His power evolves. I didn't really understand how this works. I don't know if you guys have an explanation on it. But his power basically evolves, and he unlocks Gear 2, which is like another level of his Gumgum Fruit, and then he dominates the Door Boy.
so the truth is, his whole fight with Door Boy was actually pretty epic. Like, Door Guy was like, he turned Luffy's eyes into a door, so they were like...
Yeah, what was that? That was
around.
so messed up.
Right, so you really needed to see that in the anime. And his eyes were just like as like a revolving door around his head, so he couldn't actually see. And it was also funny that Luffy wanted to fight him. Luffy was like, "Oh, perfect! I get to actually try this out." Like
My favorite part about Gear Second is that like there's actually a logical there's a thought process behind how the power up incorporates his body being made out of rubber. And like, there's a logical idea behind it that he pumps his blood. I thought that was like especially interesting because that isn't always the case in One Piece. But he took the thought into it for the main character to actually like kind of have a somewhat logical, approachable, and I guess like balanced because he can't keep it up forever way to power up the main character without it coming out of nowhere or anything.
It's literally blood doping, and since his heart is rubber and it won't rupture. Like, he could keep doing that. Like
much longer than I believe the Marines in CP9 use a similar technique, but they can only do it for an instant because they have human bodies, right?
Right.
Yeah, so from what I understood, Luffy had taken some of their strategies, and after seeing them, and he incorporated those strategies, like the 6 arts or whatever they call them, into his power-up.
But yeah, Eden, let's not get too much into like the biological side because it does
Whoops.
get explained more
Yeah.
afterwards.
I see chat. My bad.
No, it's all good, man.
know
The
that he's
chat-
pumping his blood.
People get upset over spoilers. It's such a weak mindset. It depends
Okay.
on the spoiler, but something like this, fam, you'll live.
So let's get into the before we get into the Robin backstory. What happened with when Frankie like released Robin from the prison? Like, did he like fart hump her?
Okay, so
Who got burst?
I love that scene. Coupe de bouffe or whatever it was.
Yeah,
and he just-
like it looks like he
he
humps
just
her
starts
and then he
expanding
farts.
and boom.
I saw that. I was like, I posted on Twitter. I'm like, guys, Frankie doesn't play.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I'm like, wow, Animac is like actually making me laugh for the first time. Let's go.
I mean, I
Oh,
didn't
that's
think that
scary,
was
bro.
funny, but I do respect that. At least you got
It made
Eden
me
to
laugh. I chuckled.
Hell
there was
yeah.
an actual nose exhale coming out. I'm like, let's
I
go,
mean,
Animac.
That's pretty
Look
impressive.
at
to
that.
be honest.
Look at that panel, though. If you look at that, I mean,
No, it is a great panel.
out of context, and I don't even know what the context is even now. So I mean, what can you do? But yeah, so let's get into Robin's story. She's basically rescued by Frankie, or like they break out of the chains, but they're still on the rooftop, and then they see the Straw Hats, and then Robin's like, "I want to die. Leave me alone. Stop trying to rescue me." Like for the 18th time, and then Luffy and the crew are like, "Okay, if you want to die, then say it to our face. Don't say it now when you're like a prisoner and all this stuff. Say it to our face." And then we go into the whole backstory. But I thought it was an epic moment with them standing on the roof across
All right, I
from
was about
Robin
to
and
mention.
Frankie.
I think that's one of the most iconic scenes in all of One Piece. With,
Yeah,
it's
with
great.
the six of them standing in a line, each, and then you see them
Yes.
standing in a line, like each in a pose, like Luffy in the center with his arms crossed, Sanji smoking, and on the bottom you also have the six of them with Zoro serious, Sanji smiling, Sogeking crying. Everyone has like the pose that fits. Chopper just like freaking out because, yeah, and
If I remember correctly, Sogeking was like crying out of his nose.
yes, he does that, and he's like drooling and stuff, and like that scene. That's one of the most iconic scenes in One Piece. And the
Yeah.
fact that Luffy starts off, he just goes on this massive roof. He yells at a building, "Robin, I've come for you," or whatever. And just to basically tell everyone I'm here. And then Robin's like, "I don't want to live." And Luffy with his finger in his nose, he's like, "What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What does that mean?"
Yeah,
You're like, "I'm
Luffy
not taking that for an answer. Get out of here."
Luffy is so pure. Like his friendship concept is so pure and idealistic. Like he doesn't know nuance. So, Robin's trying to protect them and she doesn't want to put them in danger and all this kind of stuff. And he's like, what? What do you mean? We're friends. Like,
I
we're
don't
friends.
get that.
We're getting you out. Like, we don't give a fuck. Like
Like,
let's
what are you
go.
talking about?
Friends
Yeah.
save each other. We help each other. We're continuing this journey as friends. That's what friends do.
No, I liked
Like
liked
he
when you
knows
brought
that
up-
Robin sees them
Sorry.
as a friend. He knows that Robin was trying to save them back in from Water 7 a little bit. But like he doesn't in this moment, I feel like he's like confused. Like I don't get it. Go ahead.
Animac, I like specifically when you brought up how you were saying that he's like, okay, well, we'll get you, and then you can decide whether you want to live once you're with us.
Yeah.
Because, like, that is, like, such a Luffy thing to say. When Luffy says, I am going to save you, even if she really wants to die, he's like, okay, I'm going to save you, and then you can die. Like, if Luffy says he's going to do something, he's going to do it. Like, that is just the perfect mindset. And, like, that, the way he answers that, how she says that, his reply, is like the most Luffy thing to say, like unrelenting. You know what I mean? He's just
Yeah.
completely unrelenting.
Yeah, because he didn't
Also
want her
known
to
as
be like.
relentless in some countries.
Yes, thank you.
Happy
He
to
didn't
help.
want Luffy didn't want to be like, oh yeah, so she was trying to protect us, so that's why she wants to give herself up. Like, no, he doesn't want any of that. If we're on equal terms, if we're on equal terms, and you did not, you're not in danger, we're not in danger, and you really want to die or whatever, you don't want to be with us, that's fine. But not under these circumstances. We're not going to accept no for an answer because we're here to help you and to support you, and that's that.
Someone in chat just said, "I want to die." It's such a weak mindset.
But it is a really cool concept here with the whole Robin thing, the way they do it. And
Yeah.
then we get into her backstory, the whole Devils of Ohara. It's Ohara, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And the island of Ohara. So basically on this island, there's this thing called the Tree of Knowledge, which is a library, and this island is known for having all this secret knowledge, long forgotten knowledge. Archaeologists are really highly valued on this island. And secretly, they've been researching the Void Century, which is the missing 100 years, 800 years ago that no one seems to know what happened. And Robin's mom left her because she's an archaeologist. She went on this big mission. So Robin was basically raised by foster parents who were kind of dicks to her. So then her whole passion was she wanted to become an archaeologist. And even as a child at 8 years old, she officially aced the test and became an archaeologist. And everyone lived happily ever after. So that was kind of heartwarming.
And then three characters get thrown into the mix. Kuzan Aokiji, Akainu, and a certain giant whose name I do not remember.
Yeah, so first the giant. Robin meets the giant. His name is Jaguar D. Soul. Or Saul.
Saul, bro.
And so that was weird because he's a giant, but he has that D initial like Luffy does. And some other characters that we've heard of. So that I thought that was interesting because Robin was the one that told Luffy about the D aspect, and this is when she first heard it. And this giant, he used to be a vice admiral, but after he heard that the admirals and vice admirals, the Marines, are trying to destroy all of Ohara because of their secret knowledge that is banned by the world government, he abandoned the fleet and tried to actually come and help these people because he felt bad for them and he felt that it wasn't justice. So then the idea of justice and doing just things really becomes a key feature of this backstory.
And it all changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
Yeah. Good.
Anyway, Animac, Mr. Virgin, you were about to mention a certain Buster Call that was implemented at that time.
Yeah, so it turns out that a bunch of these Marines come to the island to see what do these actual archaeologists, what do they actually know about the whole Void Century, because they know they've been researching it secretly. Somehow they learned that, and they're trying to find out how much they know. And it turns out that they know too much because they learned that there was once a kingdom, a powerful kingdom that was fighting an alliance of nations, which eventually became the world government. So the world government was the enemy of this kingdom. And later on, the world government tried to erase all traces of this kingdom. So the kingdom created these poneglyphs, which are preserved in stone, texts preserved in stone. They can't be burnt or whatever, like paper. So these poneglyphs are almost an attempt by this civilization, which was wiped out and erased from memory, to kind of preserve their legacy in some way. And then that mystery only deepens about what were they trying to preserve. Is it really just about weapons, or is there more going on here? Why were these kingdoms at war? Why are they trying so desperately to erase all history of this kingdom? You know, what's the big deal? Why not have historical textbooks saying, we defeated this kingdom, they were bad, we were good, we won, we're the best? Why completely erase them? That is very sinister to me and very interesting.
So far in the story, Robin's read 2 poneglyphs, both of which have been weapons. But it seems to be that Robin believes that there are other poneglyphs that contain history about the Void Century that was lost to time, and she wants to discover it. Which is why the world government sees her and everyone on Ohara who could read these poneglyphs as a threat, because they don't want them, 1, to find these weapons, and 2, to discover that history.
Yes, and that is very, very interesting to me, why they're so desperate to preserve it. Because what happens is they decide to kill pretty much everyone on the island so that no one can tell anyone else about what they found out. So they even kill civilians, they even kill children. They're very desperate to keep everyone quiet. They even start the bombardment. They start bombarding the island while the Marine inspectors are still on the island. So that is how much they want to destroy it. Like, there was no mercy there.
That attack was called by Sakazuki Akainu.
And
his name was mentioned. It's not a spoiler. Keep it in mind.
Yes.
In addition to what Animac was saying, they load up all the civilians, all the people who aren't archaeologists, have absolutely nothing to do with the island, what they were researching. They load them all up to this evacuation boat, And then one of the vice admirals shoots down the evacuation boat that all of
Yeah.
the civilians are on, just to make sure that there are no survivors.
Yeah, just
Wow.
in case an
And
archaeologist got
in-
on there.
The most interesting thing is this is, in the eyes of the world government, absolute justice.
Yeah.
Like, they are so much of a threat. I'm willing to wipe out all these innocent people just due to the potential threat that they have on the balance of power of the world. Like,
Yeah, again,
in their
and-
eyes, they're doling out justice. They don't view themselves as bad guys or pirates.
Yeah, and this was Akainu who told them to bombard the civilian ship. And
Yes.
it's mentioned in the story that he is a vice admiral at the time, but now he is an admiral in the present time.
Right.
And another interesting thing was Akainu was there, right?
Yes, he's the one that commanded the thing, but also Kuzan Aokiji.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Kuzan Aokiji. He was
Yes.
there too. The guy we saw before that rides his bike on a frozen ocean.
Right, that dude.
And the interesting thing about him was he was also there to carry out the Buster call, but he clearly realized that this wasn't just.
Correct.
He seems to be a guy who is really genuinely concerned about justice, and he realized that this wasn't just. And while he didn't,
he's not so much of a absolute justice type. He's more of a lazy justice type.
yeah, so he did not, stop the thing or fight against it, but he did spare Robin's life because he felt that what happened was unacceptable to some extent. So I thought that was interesting. He had some nuance here.
He's a very nuanced character. I love him so much, Aokiji, not just because he's voiced by Dio, although that doesn't hurt his case. Let's be honest. But he is such a detailed character because at the end of the day, Saul, he betrayed the Marines. He betrayed the world government. He's a traitor. So
Yes.
in Aokiji's view of justice, he did take him out. And it was a really emotional scene as Saul is freezing and he's saying to Robin, "Live with them." Like
That is she. That's what
What?
he says as he dies.
Yes, he does say that.
Yeah, he has this like really unique laugh that Robin then takes from him, and kind of she uses as comfort as she goes on through life in a very lonely way after this fact. But yeah, Nux, you're right. He does take out this giant who, by all accounts, was a really good guy, but then he doesn't kill Nico Robin, even though clearly she was one of the biggest threats that they wanted to get rid of. So he didn't kill her, but it's not revealed. The Marines don't learn that she got away because he helped her. They just know she got
Right.
away.
Yeah.
I'd imagine
And then-
he'd get thrown and impaled down if they found out that he saved Robin or let her live.
Oh, yeah, for
That
sure.
was a rebellious action without a doubt.
I
Yeah.
mean, he kind of turned a blind eye. I don't think he views it as traitorous.
Hmm.
Like he has a lazy justice, just like he quote unquote let Robin get away when he met her during the Long Ring Longland arc. Aokiji's a very interesting character with how he views like the world altogether. Zawado, yes, Dio's voice. Help! Anyway.
I would agree with you, but he went through the extra trouble of using the ice to outline to Robin where she should sail to get away. So that was a more active helping her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Loki, he agrees with the world government in certain areas, and in other areas he doesn't. So I feel like Loki, he wants this information to come out. He's against all the secrets that the world government has, and he wouldn't be against a rebellion, I don't think.
So
Well, that's a big statement based on the future. That's kind of huge freaking spoiler.
It's only spoilers if you point out that it's spoilers, Nux.
I know, but I like doing
Yeah,
it.
but you doing that was way worse than what I said.
No, but I'm just saying it because people in the chat and in the comments are going to be like, it's a spoiler. So
okay, I don't know
No,
what you
but
guys
you
talking
can
about.
see that. You could see
Can we
that
just
from what
continue
we've
the
seen.
discussion?
Animax said it himself. You could see that
No,
from what
exactly.
we've seen.
I'm
why
saying
you
the
say it
same
though,
thing.
Nux? You're making it way worse
Aokiji-
on us.
every character has a future. It's almost like Oda thinks this stuff through or something. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't, but we shall see. We shall see. I didn't spoil anything. I was just overdoing.
I guess there's a bit of a rebellion going on in Rank Cafe with you guys arguing so much. Anyway, what I found, we also have to mention Nico
Dio's
Robin's
voice.
mother, Olvia,
Oh.
right? Olvia,
Yeah, Olivia.
not Olivia, but similar. Okay,
I
so
read it as
she
Olivia.
ended up abandoning Nico Robin because she had to go do the research stuff. But I think there was also there was like a need for her to go. I'm trying to think of what it was now, but it wasn't just because she was like, oh yeah, my work is more important than my child. It was like she had to. There was.
I think it was something like it was an archaeologist's duty to forget their children or something like that.
Yeah, but I
Something
feel
that,
like there was
she
something
couldn't.
in addition to that also explained why she had to do it. But anyway, the point is that she's been away, and then she comes back to the island, and she tries to like save some people and tries to see what's going on. But at the end, I'm not sure if was she killed. Do we know?
Yep.
Yeah.
She got killed.
Okay, because I wasn't sure if they were saying if she was like imprisoned or killed. But yeah, so she came to the island. She saw Robin only briefly. At first, she pretended not to know her because she didn't want Robin to be implicated. But then Robin just blurted out, "Yeah, I know about the poneglyphs and shit." And she's like, "No."
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
smart.
She's like, "No." And yeah, she was a boss. Definitely a cool character. You can see where Robin gets her badassery from. And one thing that really, really kind of broke my heart about then what happens to Robin after this. Saul told her, go out there. The ocean is big, and you will find friends again, and you can live with them and for them. But her life after that point was very harsh because she kept trying to live a normal life. She would, find people, find jobs, all this stuff. But eventually, because she was so dangerous and wanted by the government, eventually they would all betray her. They would try to give her in for the money or because they were afraid that she was going to get them in trouble. So all the people that she would start to care about and relate to would eventually betray her. And that was such a difficult life that she had to live. So part of the whole situation here now in Enies Lobby, she didn't want the Straw Hats to rescue her because she knew that they could be killed by the Buster Call, just like the entire island was destroyed. But she also, like, subconsciously was afraid that if she stayed friends with them, they might eventually betray her like everyone else did in her past after she became wanted. So I thought that was like an interesting extra nuance to Robin and her tortured backstory. So yeah, people were saying that I would start appreciating Robin more when I got her backstory, and I definitely do. Because so far she's been such a quiet, mysterious character, but now you really see where she's coming from and all that stuff. And yeah, man, really deep. Really deep.
So a little bit
She's
off
pretty
topic.
great.
Before we finish off the backstory, I do want to say that what's his name? Something D Sol, the giant.
Saul.
Jaguar D. Saul.
Jaguar D Sol died with a smile on his face, much like Gold D Roger. And even back in Logtown, Luffy, when he was about to get executed, had a smile on his face, which is like at this point in the story makes you think about like what is this D and why are these guys all like okay with accepting their deaths?
Hmm.
Very
Well, I don't know.
Luffy
That's very
would be
interesting.
like in fear without a doubt.
Maybe, but maybe not. I don't know.
I mean,
don't know.
again, the whole D thing, it's one of those running mysteries throughout the story, and it's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. I love the mystery aspect to One Piece. I think One Piece, it gets credit for it, but not enough. Like, it's so fascinating to learn, because think of the ideology of the world government that we just were introduced to. It's trying to silence history. When have you seen that? Like, first of all, that's something incredibly powerful. They're trying to control people through knowledge or the lack thereof. Like, that's a really sinister force that they're trying to dole out with their perverted view of justice. It's a fascinating antagonist to Luffy, who's all about this, like, this freedom of thought and this outgoingness. Like, I think the world government's fantastic altogether.
Yeah,
And
so
this is the real, in all honesty, this is the first arc that it's not like pirates on pirates. We're actually learning about the infrastructure of how the world operates aside from these lawless individuals on the sea.
yeah, so we've gotten hints before, but this arc seems to really be building that world and setting it up. And I think an important part about this whole hiding history thing is that it really makes the world government go from authoritarian to totalitarian. And the difference is authoritarian government just wants to control in the sense of having the physical force and telling you can't do this because, we have the power. But a totalitarian government, like a Stalinist government or Nazi Germany or whatever, they want to control everything. They want to control even your thoughts by censoring history, manipulating history, erasing people from existence that are not, that are no longer suitable to the government. So if you in the Soviet, like Stalinist era, when someone would be like a leader of the Soviet of the Communist Party would become no longer desirable, they would kill him, and then they would even erase him from the official photographs. So they would just like look like there was no one there, and that was like a big crazy thing they were doing. And I think that tells you a lot. These are the methods that they're using, and there has to be a reason why this void century is so important. What is so dangerous to them that they don't want you to even know about it? Because something 800 years ago, it's like, why not? Like, why not learn from history so we don't repeat the mistakes of history? But clearly there is something so dangerous in this past that they don't want you to know it under any circumstance. And now I'm super curious what it is. I'm super freaking curious. Apparently it was a kingdom that was fighting what is now the world government, but that's not enough, right? Like, what? That's not dangerous. Like, kingdoms have rivals, countries can have wars. That doesn't make it dangerous. What is it about this kingdom that was so potentially dangerous to the rule of the world government? And I'm gonna guess it's that they had a different system of government philosophy, like an alternative.
Or even who was this world government during that war, and what did they do that they want to hide? Or who were they that they want to hide, right?
Yeah, so
I don't know anything, but I want to take a guess. I'm guessing it's like some Attack on Titan stuff, and I can't spoil Attack on Titan, so I'm just gonna say it's my guess is it's Attack on Titan all over again. That's all I'm gonna say, though.
But before.
By the way, Eden is up, like, he just finished Enies Lobby. I think he's up to Thriller Bark, so he's not really ahead of Animac at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very curious about that because, it's like, why is it so dangerous? I'm guessing that it's dangerous because if everyone knew the truth, they would be less likely to be okay with the world government and more likely to rebel against them. Mm-hmm. Not sure exactly why. But I'm very curious to find out.
Not trying to throw shade at anyone, but this is how you write a battle shonen. It's got the hype battles, it's got the friendship themes, it's got the lightheartedness, but in the background, bruh, the gears are turning, and you don't see this in literally anything else. That's why One Piece is forever going to be the king of shonen, period. Thanks for
I do like that because there is so much about One Piece. There is so much about One Piece that is interesting in terms of the whole traditional shonen stuff, like the powers and fights and adventure. But this aspect about the world building is something that I would say that, other shonen like My Hero Academia don't have.
It's that the whole world is moving. Like, Luffy's story, like, at this point, he's a tiny little speck of what's really going on in the overall world. And it's something like an arc like this that's really getting you to know that Luffy's insignificant seeming. At this point, right now, he's challenging Enies Lobby, this big government base type thing. And in all honesty, it's only the peak of the iceberg when it comes to the overall world government. Like, none of the admirals are here. The Marines. Yeah. What does the Marines and the world government have to do with each other? There's so many moving parts, and Luffy's bounty reflects the fact that he's only beginning to make a name for himself. At the end of the day, in this, we're watching. I always say that One Piece isn't a story about how the world changes Luffy. It's how Luffy is going to change the world.
Which is a great segue to Sogeking.
Which is a great segue to Luffy saying with a completely normal face, he's not like shouting or whatever, and he just says, without even looking at Sogeking, he's just looking forward, shoot the flag.
Oh my god! Oh, that's literally my favorite
cool
moment in all of One Piece so far. Shooting down that flag. Very cool
symbolic moment, because it's basically a declaration of war against the world government when he tells Sogeking to burn the world government flag on top of Enies Lobby as a sign of defiance and rebellion against their so-called laws and their so-called justice. Very, very cool.
The chat is going crazy. Everyone's saying, I cried. I came. Just going nuts.
And it just shows how far Luffy is willing to go. He's willing to wage war with the world government in this case, to save a single Nakama. And that's like,
yes,
it's amazing.
Yeah, it's just so simple and like, it's just such simple symbolism, but it works so well. There's something about that.
It's paired up directly with Robin like crying and stuttering, and Luffy Luffy was calm and composed with this whole thing. Luffy jumps on the highest building. He's yelling at the government. He's basically giving them a big middle finger. He takes down one of their top agents, no problem. He was super calm and collected. But when he sees Robin stuttering as far as whether she wants to live or not, he loses it and yells like with a fury at the top of his lungs, "Say you want to live. It needs to come from you. It can't just come from me." And then Robin comes out with a Animac.
I want to live.
Perfect voice acting, 10 out of 10.
Well, that's kind of what it sounded like in the dub, because you sent me the dub clip.
I'm sorry, but the truth of the matter is, with the burning the flag and the I want to live scene, that is one of the most powerful moments in history of manga.
Dude, it's so sad that Usopp wasn't there for one of the most powerful moments in One Piece.
I know. I know.
I mean, to be fair, the second most powerful moment in One Piece so far is probably Luffy versus Usopp.
We have this new guy, Soga King, like crying out of his nose, but Usopp is nowhere to be found. Oh, man.
Dude, that scene, Animac, you're the virgin. Please tell us. Emotions.
It is an incredibly emotional scene, especially with all the buildup we got from Robin's backstory. It was done so well. So first we get her whole backstory. Then we get her remembering all the mistreatment that she got and how she kept being betrayed by people she trusted and how she kept
her Buster
needing
called
to run.
PTSD.
Yeah, and the Buster called PTSD, which destroyed everyone she cared about, like all the people she loved on the island, her mother, the knowledge there that she cared so much about, all that coming together. And then we're back into now. We have, the Straw Hats. She sees how much these people love her and care about her and what they're willing to do for her, despite all the things she's heard in her life about how horrible she is, how dangerous she is, how she shouldn't be alive. Her life is a crime. And then she sees these people who are willing to go to hell and back for her. And then she just breaks down, and I loved it. Oh, good stuff.
All right, so
yeah,
what
I would say...
Eden, take it away.
I would say you ask like 99.9% of people, they'll say, oh, totally, Enies Lobby is the best One Piece arc. And as I was watching, I'm like, I'm a little lukewarm. I'm like, all right, we'll see. I'm testing the waters. The second, everything in between the beginning of that backstory and shoot down that flag, I was like, yes, everyone is right. This is not overhyped in the slightest. This
not
is
even
amazing.
a little.
Yes, no, it deserves. I couldn't overhype it.
I don't know if it's the best arc in One Piece, but it's top 3, top 5.
I think
it's top tier. It's pretty.
I think it's definitely the best arc so far.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
sure. I mean, I don't know how it's gonna.
Water 7 was pretty great. Let's.
Yeah, but the thing about Water 7, it was great, but it felt like a build up to this.
True.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
But you got to respect it for the build up it was. I think Luffy versus Usopp is still top 3 fights in One Piece. Like,
I love that.
The emotion
it was great.
Is next level.
Yeah, but I think that this scene right here with the flag, top 3 scenes in One Piece.
Almost
top
gives
2
me...
are. I bet
you do know what the top 2 are?
I can't say it live, but I'm messaging you it right now.
All right, I'm gonna go.
Yes. Anyway, I do think that I should mention Hisoka in the chat, because Hisoka is always so wise. Said that one of the CP9 officers was told to shoot that Clover guy from the island before he could say the name of the kingdom. So that means that the name of this mysterious kingdom itself might be a threat. And
yes.
And why? Why would the name be dangerous? And
I think that scene also with where he actually got shot. Like, because, I mean, we don't really see characters die in One Piece for the most part. Like,
except everyone on that island, but okay.
Yeah, and every backstory and all of it, yeah.
Yeah, they did say that there was a lot of casualties, too, on Enies Lobby. Not just in the backstory where everyone literally died, but like in Enies Lobby, they were saying there was casualties. In the Viz translation, at least.
Yeah, but casualties can also mean injured
Yeah.
and deserters.
Yeah, it could be.
Okay.
I did not know that. Thank you for the vocab. I appreciate it.
I
Yeah.
always took casualties as Luffy threw
Yeah.
someone and their skull got cracked against a wall or something.
Yeah, we never see that, so I doubt it. But yeah, I'm very curious about this ancient kingdom because I think it is related to Jaya as well and Skypiea and that ancient city. But that ancient city is like 400 years ago, right? It's not quite
I think
800.
they're separate, to be honest. Yeah. I don't know.
I think they're separate, but I think they're related because remember that they also had a poneglyph.
Maybe they were an ally of like ally nations.
Yeah,
I don't
or like
think they're the same nation though.
or like maybe like a leftovers from that destroyed kingdom established this smaller kingdom or something like that. But I do think that it's very, very interesting. It almost gives me these Atlantis vibes, except in our world, Atlantis is this like mythical continent that everyone wants to learn about, and in this world, there's this mythical kingdom that everyone is forcing you to forget and not know it existed. So,
Yeah.
very interesting.
Kind of
very
like the fact that the Earth is flat and the government keeps trying to hide the fact from us. Disgusting.
Exactly.
Well, Logan Paul's documentary really opened my eyes.
Fact.
Side note: some guys on CP9 ate devil fruits.
Oh yeah, that's true. That happened.
Oh yes, Khalifa and what's his name, Kaku.
Stop, guy.
Yeah, Kaku.
Hey,
Khalifa and
Goose.
Kaku ate devil fruits, but we still haven't seen their powers at this time, right?
Right.
So that will be interesting to see brand new devil fruit users. And that was funny because when they were talking about it, they're like, "Here, take the fruit." Now it could end up being a pretty shitty power. I can tell you right now, and you won't be able to swim, but it's up to you.
And they both just eat it instantly, no
Yeah.
issues.
No, I'm just hoping that Khalifa doesn't get like some power that's gonna make her less attractive because
That's what
Animac,
you're
that's
worried
sexual harassment.
about. Nice.
listen, man, I just appreciate Khalifa as a character.
Hmm.
Well,
Was
I'm hyped for
Doriki
some
mentioned in
good
this
fight
arc?
scenes in the next arc, boys.
Yes. Well, the next episode, rather.
Next episode, but yeah, second half of this arc. What
I
are the
don't know,
chapters
I
again,
think-
Duxie boy?
The chapters are 499 to 399 to 530 to 430.
Oh my god.
399 to 430.
It'll
Yeah,
be in
bro.
the description.
It's
Khalifa better-
31 chapters. 399 to 430.
Khalifa
And then
better
the
not
next-
get the ugly fruit. I'm gonna be pissed off if she gets.
She gets the hairy fruit. It's horrible. Anyway, and the next episode right after that. So since this one's going to be 31 chapters, the one right after this is only going to be 10 chapters because there's like this whole mini post Enies Lobby arc.
Ooh,
And a
I
lot
forgot
happens.
about
in
that.
that.
I have no
Yeah.
idea, but we'll see.
That's
Yeah, we'll talk
right.
about it then, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. It turned out that Nux and I did not kill each other during this episode, so that is
Yeah.
good. Congratulations, Nux.
I mean, to be honest, the only reason why I left you alive is because we can't call this the One Piece Whores next week. We need the Virgin. This is so sad. But another thing I wanted to say, our guest next week is a certain Mouse of the Iron variety. Because she
Hey.
cried at the end of Enies Lobby. So I was like, hell yeah, you're coming.
Nice.
Anyway.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know she's watching the anime, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, so that's cool. It'll be fun to see her. And yeah, guys, check out if you enjoyed the podcast, definitely share it with your friends and everyone else you know. That helps us out a lot.
Literally everyone. They could hate One Piece for all.
No,
we care.
yeah, just like you hate One Piece, watch this podcast, bitch. Whatever you got to do, you do what you got to do because we are the Nakama and we support
Yes.
each other. You can
And
also
another
check
really
out.
important point before Animac mentions where else you could check out.
Yes.
You should check out Corey Wa Eden, the absolute mad lad that was with us today. Frick yes. Link will be in the description of our YouTube video to his YouTube channel. He's a funny dude. He smashes lollies. He's great.
We never forget to put the links in.
Never.
So-
It's not happened once.
I'm so
No,
sorry.
never
2 weeks in a row.
I'm sorry, dude. It's all good. Don't worry.
And you can also check out our Rank Cafe light novel on Web Novel. That link will also be in the description. So check us out, give us some love, and we love you as well.
We love
Anything
you,
else we need to
Chicken
say?
If. Chicken If with
Anything-
another 5,000 bits.
Thank you. And
Thank
we
you
also
for
had
the 5,000
1,500
magical
bits
bitches.
from someone.
Yes, we did. I'm going back.
From the Anime Stone.
Anime Stoner. Frick yeah.
I'm
talk.
Man,
K-pop
I'm excited
Bridge.
for next week. Can I just say, this is extremely important. I have been vibing One Piece in my everyday life for the last, 3 weeks. I think about One Piece more than any other show, at least right now, more than any other fictional piece. One Piece is on the mind. I've been listening to the openings on repeat for the last bunch of days. I cannot stop my One Piece hype train. The One Piece Virgin Podcast, stroke of genius, and goddamn, do I love this saga. So with that said and done, stay weird, fam. Check out Animac on Twitter. And I'll let you know.
At Anime Uproar. And until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys.
Bang.